Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. What if your spirit guides are trying to warn you about an important stage on your path right now? I felt inspired to share this message with you, so please listen closely. Maybe take notes on what resonates with you and know that your guides are with you in this moment. I will share with you 5 different messages I felt inspired to share with you. And to those of you who feel like spirit guides, this is some far away concept, you can look at this message as just a form of intuitive guidance for you. And to those of you who are into or who feel connected with your guides but maybe can't hear them yet clearly, just know that it requires a bit of practice. They're always there with you, but they're not interfering with your process in life. Usually when people ask me how can I hear my spirit guides, I share with them 3 steps they can connect with their guides. And the first one is to get quiet enough to notice the sign that they give you. The second one is to ask clearly a simple question like, what do I need to focus on today? Or is this person good for my path? Or what's the next step? Or whatever is your situation. And the third part then to this process is trust the first answer that comes. Because often in our minds, we are not sure if thoughts are coming from divine or they're coming from just, our programmed loops. But usually when it comes to intuition and guides, there's always the first answer that's very clear, and then comes the fear, and then we start questioning it and doubting it. So when an answer appears to you that's very clear and holds truth in it, you need to train yourself to feel resonance or disresonance. When you feel a sense of truth that comes with an answer, don't debate it, don't overthink it. Write it down and then ask yourself, how can you take it into action? Because the point of all guidance is to show you a direction so then you can take action with it. Otherwise, there will be no guidance. If you don't take action with it, why someone would guide you, right? They're very patient because there is no time. We only experience time here. So therefore they can be infinitely patient with us, okay? So, welcome back everyone. My name is Gasper. I'm making these daily messages, intuitive guidance, and messages of clarity and direction and purpose to help you, guide you on this path. So I'm also an artist and I share with you my paintings that are deeply connected with messages and support all of that. So the first message for all of you who will resonate that came to me was a season of alignment is approaching. So firstly, just see if anything comes up within you when I say this. A season of alignment is approaching. It may mean that you've been out of alignment. It may mean that you're learning to hear your truth a little bit better. It may mean that your ancestors are showing that the next phase of your path requires more alignment and less effort. So what does it mean? Alignment feels like flow, but it also feels like something we have to do. Effort is often experienced in push, in force, but alignment is like, I just need to do it. I know that all the support is on my side. I just need to do it. Like to me, it's painting. I need to put effort in, to start, but then I just feel guided for the whole process. It's same with these messages. I need to start. I need to sit in front of the microphone and camera, but then I just flow. This is alignment. Effort is like you start and it's not working and everything is kind of, tricky and works against you, and you need to place a lot of effort into it and hard work and still no breakthroughs. This is effort. Alignment is like you start, you put in your work, you know that you have to do it. It speaks to you, it calls you. There's an inner feeling of inspiration that pulls you into it. And when you do it, you immediately see some kind of reward of that work. This is alignment. You may notice certain things falling away on their own. Maybe relationships you've outgrown, habits that no longer fit, or inner feelings like urges that feel new and unfamiliar. This also means that you're stepping into a deeper alignment when old things are falling out of your life because you've outgrown them. And those are people, those are habits, those are certain urges that you've outgrown, or something like a new pull, new intuitive, inspiring pull has started calling you, and it still feels unfamiliar, so you're not sure what to do with it. Be patient with it. Just know that when this is happening in your life, it's not chaos. It is some kind of rearrangement. We all go through it because we move through cycles in life. And when we come to the end of a cycle, we will start losing certain things. We don't truly lose them. We are in a process of some kind of transformation. And what it reveals to us is our attachment to people. That's why we suffer. Our attachment to things. Sometimes we start losing money, or we start losing opportunities, or clients, or we lose a job. And we notice our attachment to security without the life's bigger plan, because we're attached onto our small idea of how we think life works. So our fear is being deeply challenged. Like, can we see through fear? And only if we truly allow ourselves to work with our fear, which how I like to do it is to think about the worst case scenario and sit with it and just contemplate, okay, if that thing would happen, would I still be okay? And then I would go deeper into deeper fear, and would I still be okay? And even if there's the worst case scenario, like I would lose everything, I would still think, okay, would I still survive? Would I still find a way out of it? And eventually I come to the end where I realize, yeah, I would always be okay. And then I can reflect on the moments when I've been at the bottom and I see I always found a way out. And then I can go from fear into trust and belief in my own capability. And at the beginning, if you're doing that for the first time, it will be the hardest because your fear will be louder than your trust. But that's why you're going through this kind of a phase in your life where you need to face with all your fears and all your anger and frustration, because it is your teacher right now to learn to trust more, to learn to accept the situation you're in at this present moment, but know that something deeper is guiding you through this situation. So don't be too attached on the physical, because life is mostly not physical. It's mostly a potential, and potential can be chosen by your creative mind as you move forward by setting an aim towards something you want to experience, so you can align with that vision, and then prioritize your goals so you can move towards that vision from that situation you're in right now. It's kind of a, creating a vision for life and prioritizing your most highest goals. you need to aim towards at this moment. So you will slowly start moving from this situation towards something that's more aligned with you. Most probably, this is what you need to know if the message "a season of alignment is approaching" resonates with you. So, if something recently closed or became unavailable, it was protection, not punishment. Just know this. And it doesn't make sense to some of you, like how it is a protection. You don't know what would happen if you would stay there, or if that old scenario that became unavailable would still work on. You don't know what would happen there. So just see that life always has a bigger plan for you, and it has protection over you. It has your back. This is sometimes hard to understand because we feel deep in our ego, deep in our selfishness, that we are alone here and that everything is up on us. But that's when this idea of life is a bit shattered, because we need to trust something bigger in those moments. It's not a passive thing, it's an active thing, because we need to move forward but trust, because otherwise we are overwhelmed with fear that is just limiting our action and is robbing us from too much of life force that we could invest into something we want to accomplish. In yesterday's video, I've talked a lot about this pressure and fear that we experience. So if that's something you're going through, yesterday's video will help you so much on that. It's named "Like It or Not, It's About to Happen." So very important message. The second message from your spirit guides, for those of you who will resonate with it, is a hidden strength in you is waking up. So this may be something you've been doubting about yourself. How life is teaching us to awaken to that hidden strength? Well, usually the way that it exposes us to our greatest weaknesses. It puts us into a situation where our greatest weaknesses will be exposed. So we may fail at something, we may lose something, we may go back into an old situation in life, like kind of moving back to an old place that we've moved out because it was toxic. I've been through that before, and I know that for me personally, everything I moved away returned, and I needed to deal with many of my old sadness and old fears and feeling disappointed, feeling like I've made many steps backward. I needed to deal with all of that, only to realize that it was just unprocessed part of me that required my guidance. So I needed to be a guide for my younger self, to guide me into deeper strength. And it took me quite some time to figure that out. I needed to sit with myself and to love my younger self that was not so mature yet, that was more reactive, that was more afraid, that was more like I will figure everything out like. And I needed to sit with that part of me and hold space for me. So that younger me, or that part of my younger self, was able to mature into who I am today. So now I can hold more pieces of myself together once again. And that's why sometimes we need to go to, or we are exposed to scenarios, situations, where we feel completely weak. We feel weak just because it is activating our hidden strength. Not that something without our effort happens, it's something that through our effort happens. There is a part of you, something ancient, something you've depended on in other maybe lifetimes that's beginning to come forward again. For some, it's intuitive clarity. For others, it's courage or creative vision or the ability to speak truth without fear. You may feel moments of deja vu or sudden inner knowing. Your guides want you to trust those instincts because they're not random, they're memory. They're a signal that you're stepping into a version of yourself that has been here before and knows what to do. This is why we are exposed to such things as something that triggers our greatest weakness. We shouldn't judge our weakness. We should see it as undeveloped part of our character, because that's what it is. Like, you don't say to a child, hey, you're so weak. No, you see a potential of that kid. You know into what that kid can grow because you have grown into a part of that potential. So sometimes what's the challenge when we move through these phases in our lives when we feel weak is that we don't have a healthy example of someone who's on the other side of that challenge. That's why it's so good if we envision an example. Like if we see ourselves, who are we on the other side of this challenge? Like, who am I? If despite of being exposed to maybe the worst case scenario, I can still be completely fluid, I can still be authentic, I can still hold on to my values, I can still keep up with my healthy habits, I can still set boundaries and feel strong in my spirit and have great trust, and I just keep going with my goals despite my circumstances. And create this kind of a vision of yourself, like this is who you're becoming. And let that vision of yourself guide you towards you, so the future you will be proud of you for what you've done today. This is a great work. You know, there's a reason you've ended up into maybe more mystical topics, and the reason is you're capable of doing that. Otherwise, you would never watch this kind of videos. You would be into something more grounded. But there's a reason you ended up here, because a part of you knows how to do it, like you've done it before. That's why these messages may feel like deja vus. You've already mastered these things, but you're pretending you don't know. If your intuition has been louder lately, don't second guess it. Your mind may be like, I don't know my intuition. But actually, you've listened to it before. So, a hidden strength in you is waking up. But now, in order for that to happen, in order for the good stuff to happen, we need to go through dark stuff, right? Because that's what activates us. Any hero in a movie needed to go firstly through an incredible breakdown, and that introduced him or her to that dormant potential that they've forgotten that they have it. And it's same happening to you. You may be doubting your capability, your ability, your strength, your power. And it actually feels good to talk about how hard it is, right? It feels rewarding to talk about how weak you are, or how back in that time it was better than it is today. It feels rewarding, but it bears no fruit. So the only thing that truly bears fruit for you at this moment is to discover that strength within you and use it and build good habits, build healthy habits, set up a goal that you will follow, and every single day follow that thing. And be aware when you need to rest, when you need to work. But hold yourself accountable, because that's the way to awaken your hidden strength. That's what your spirit guides want you to know. You're powerful, my friend, but you need to firstly see your own power, believe into your own power, and then you will be powerful. Then there's the message number 3. for those of you who will resonate with this, my friends, you're being prepared for a decision that changes everything. Some of you will feel a deep resonance in this message. You're being prepared for a decision that changes everything. So, maybe you may find yourself at a crossroads. Not a crisis, but maybe a choice, a big choice you need to make. Maybe one path keeps your life familiar, the other requires courage and a different identity. This is big because you may notice that what you used to think about yourself will not allow you to create a life that you want to live. So, essentially, stories you've been repeating about yourself that have been like, this is too hard, this is impossible, I can't do this. These stories are your old identity. You've been identified with it. It kept you where you used to be. And it manifested a life you used to live. And now you've most probably discovered that you want something more or something else, or you know you're capable of something else, but that same old identity can't create that new life. So there must be a birth of new self, new identity. It's not that you're truly changing into something you're not, you're just peeling off layers of what you're not. Because these layers, these old stories, that's the conditioned you, that's what you've been hearing and listening all your childhood, at the time when you were not even aware of what's going on around you. Then it became a part of you, and now you came to the point where you need to ditch it. How many of you feel that? It's time to ditch old identity. It means that you need to become very comfortable in a new identity that says, I can do it. I can learn anything. This is only happening so I become stronger in my maybe healthy routines. So I start trusting my vision more. So I start listening my intuition more precisely. So I take more time and to fully hear my gentle voice within. This is what it means to step into a new identity and then starting new action despite the present circumstances. That's where we are, forging a sword, right? Maybe your ancestors right now are encouraging you to pause before rushing into anything and just observe the options. Feel into what supports your long-term growth, not your short-term comfort. I will say this again. Feel into what supports your long-term growth, not your short-term comfort. This decision will shape the next chapter more than you realize. So, long-term growth is something that deep inside you crave. But at the same time, we often have a false perception of how it will be. We think it will be fun and it will be nice and great. And yes, partially it will be. But partially it will also challenge our greatest limitations so we can be free. So therefore, it will expose us to our limiting beliefs and our fears. So therefore, at times when you complain because of your circumstances, you are also in times when you are forming a greater vision of your long-term growth you're stepping in. So this is for the brave ones and courageous hearts. And if you're there, it means you have a courageous heart and you're brave. And there's a part of you that is avoiding that and doesn't want to accept that, but know that that part of you is not you, it's your ego, it's your conditioned self identity, that you need to catch it, notice it, and know I am not this story. So one way I do it is I sit with I sit in quietness and I hear this mental chatter that complains, that gossips, that says, oh, I can't do it. I hear it and I just say, oh, this is my old story. I am not it. I have been through it before and I've mastered myself. So then I follow that power that comes with this voice and I do it anyway. Even if I feel shaky, even if I feel like I can't do it, I do it because I know within me there's a master that can conquer any limitation. So you need to practice it to become good at it. So if life feels like it's slowing down right now, it's because you're being positioned to choose from clarity, not survival. To choose from clarity, not survival. So it requires a different attitude, right? It requires to sit in quietness instead of distracting yourself with your phone. And then see what happens when you want to be distracted but you don't distract yourself. See what happens. Will you persist or will your mental chatter persist? Will you persist or will your human impulses persist? You see, I'm making here a difference between you and your body. I'm almost separating it, even though you're one, but also those are two different forces, because you are your God's will. You, when I say you are God's will in physical form. But if you live in your human impulses, you don't hear your God's will. You don't hear your divine's power, because you're being distracted from it. So my message is always, and I'm not talking about some religious God, I'm not talking about any kind of religion. I'm just talking about very personal, intimate relationship you can develop with that inner will that holds for you highest good that you can aim towards. So you can decide, this is what I am choosing to do. This is what I'm choosing to build. And it requires from me to accept where I am, to set that goal, to organize my routines so I can have enough energy and motivation to do it. And motivation doesn't come from external world, it comes from organized plan. And when I have all of that, then what I need to do is I need to take action with it. And at the time when we want to take action will also be the louder, at the time we want to take action, there will be also that need for distraction the loudest, because it's our natural impulse to distract us from what's unfamiliar or new. You just need to recognize it. I like to distract myself at times when I want to do something new, something unfamiliar, something uncomfortable. And when you see that pattern, you cannot not see it. So don't be misled by the need for distraction at times when it's time to take action. And it rhymes, that means we're in the flow. The fourth message, for those of you who will resonate with this. You must release the emotional weight you've been carrying. So your guides are very clear, my friend. Something heavy you've been holding on to is not yours to carry into the next phase. So be very clear here. Something heavy you've been holding on to is not yours to carry into the next phase. Now, I'm not saying this to blame the collective or to blame your parents or to blame anyone. Like, I'm not feeling my emotions. I shouldn't feel that. If you feel it, you feel it. But it doesn't mean that's who you are. You don't need to be identified with what you feel, which means, like if I return back to the previous message, when you set a goal, you can feel a lot of sadness. But it doesn't mean you are truly sad. It just means you are feeling sadness because you've been reacting to circumstances. But the real you is the one that set a goal, the one that was inspired to move forward, the one that will take action right now and move from this situation into a new one that in the next moment will change because you've changed. This is what I mean by something heavy you've been holding on to is not yours to carry into the next phase. You don't need to be identified with these old emotional states anymore. Instead of saying I'm bored, I'm sad, I'm anxious, start saying I feel sadness, I feel bored, I feel anxiety. But deep inside I'm the one that is observing it, so find that you that is observing it. It could be an old fear, a belief you inherited from your family line, or emotional exhaustion from always being the strong one, or always being the one that needs to mature very, very fast. So, what is the message here is that you can put it all down. You don't need to earn your next breakthrough by suffering for it. And you're being asked to create space, to hold space, because what's coming needs a lighter, freer version of you. So what does it mean? Well, just see the pattern, how old emotions made you react and act. Just see that. And the next time when the impulse comes to react out of this old emotional state, just hold space for you. Like you would completely unconditionally understand yourself, but you would not react. Like you would feel yourself, but you would not react. Just imagine what it means to hold a compassionate space, healing space for you. And then see what happens. Because in my experience, a release happened. A release of that old energy, like, oh, I don't need to react to this old emotion. That was very liberating for me. You know, sometimes I would feel sadness or I would feel disappointment because results wouldn't meet my expectation. And I would feel disappointed. And then disappointment would make me feel very impulsively react and do something to numb that disappointment down. And sometimes I would use food for that. Sometimes I would use my phone for distraction, just to numb that disappointment down. But then I became a bit wiser, and I've noticed, well, I never experienced a breakthrough when I've used the method of numbing my disappointment down with distraction. So what I've started doing, I said to myself, let's be with this disappointment. If God is everything, or if divine purpose is in everything, and everything is my teacher, what the disappointment is teaching me? And you know what I found out? It was teaching me patience. It was teaching me patience. If I really want to become good at something, I will need to be very patient with myself. If I really want to experience a breakthrough at something that's so unusual what I'm doing, I will need to be very patient with myself. So if I've chosen this path, but now I'm being impatient, it means there's dissonance within me. There's, I want to follow my will, but then at the same time, I'm not happy with the results. So there's dissonance. I've decided to follow this path, but now I'm not happy with the path that I'm walking. This is dissonance. So to bridge the gap and to calm my reactive self down into peace and love and acceptance meant for me to teach me that it's okay to be disappointed. But I'm not disappointed because I'm not seeing results. I'm disappointed because I want to rush my results. And that's a big difference. So I've realized that all good things need to grow slow. Because only that will build sustainable progress. And I needed to teach myself that. And that gave me a lot of peace. a lot of peace. Like now I don't have problems with being disappointed so much anymore. So whatever emotion you're carrying is maybe disturbing to you, maybe it's time to let it go in a similar way I did it with myself. So if you've been emotional, tired, or reflective lately, it's because your spirit is detoxing old stories and you need to participate in this process. Maybe what I said to you, what I've done can help you in some way. You will see. If not, just move on. We'll now go on to the 5th message. Something long delayed is finally coming together. Some of you will resonate with this because you've been through a lot. You've put in a lot of work. You've grown so much and you've healed so much. There is a blessing, opportunity, or shift you thought was not for you. Your guides want you to know it was never denied. It was delayed until you were ready. And now the timing is aligning. And a doorway you forgot about is about to open, often in an unexpected way through a person, invitation, or chance moment. So be ready to say yes when opportunity comes. But stay tuned if it truly opens your heart. So you're not codependent on something that will save you. You know that it's the right one when it awakens that inner fire within you. Your ancestors are helping orchestrate this behind the scenes, but they need you to believe you're worthy of receiving. You need you to believe you're worthy of receiving it. So who is a person who is worthy of receiving something you've been praying for? Who is that kind of a person? Just ask yourself, how would you show to yourself? How would you earn that breakthrough? How would you earn that opportunity? What it takes to be worthy of it? Ask yourself what's for you to be worthy of it, what it means to you. Because to me it means that I become that version of myself that is already living like I have a bunch of this kind of opportunities, that it's normal for me to live in this kind of a life. Like if I want to be worthy of being a good mentor to other people, firstly I need to perceive guiding others like something normal, something I do every single day. And then I need to show up and do it. And then I need to become very good at it. And then I become worthy of being in this position. Now what it means for abundance, to be worthy of abundance, to be worthy of receiving abundance. It means that you value your own resourcefulness. You value your own ability to be patient. And you value your ability to take action so much that it becomes normal for you to be an action taker, to be responsible, to be wise in how to treat money, for example, and resources, to be worthy of receiving it, to become the person that became good at these qualities. To live like that, that's how you become worthy. Because worthiness doesn't happen in the mind by saying I am worthy of it. It must be embodied through action of a living person that already lives like he or she is worthy. And that's why it feels that something long delayed is finally coming together, because many of you have been practicing it for quite some time, and that's why things started clicking. And most probably you've already started experiencing certain signs of breaking through. And if you're saying, no, I haven't, well, just ask yourself, are you believing into your own worthiness to receive it. And if that's still hard to understand, just write down the qualities of a person who feels worthy of having what you want to have. Write down the qualities. And then ask yourself, was it written out of your fear and old identity, or was it written out of the highest possible version of yourself you could become? Because the answers are different when we write from fear or limitation, or when we write from unconditional love and belief. And then embody these qualities. That is the great work, the hard work often. But that is what truly shapes our character, what shifts our habits and daily rituals and routines. But that is what opens this long delayed circumstances into finally coming together. So if life has felt strangely hopeful recently, without a clear reason, that's the sign something is on its way to you. If you feel it was not hopeful, just don't look at it as a bad sign. You're just not here yet because you're maybe dealing with something else, like from the previous 4 messages. Just see where you are at your journey right now, and then eventually you will also come to here. It may happen very, very fast. So don't look at it through a lens of linear time, because shifts can happen very fast, but usually they happen when we stop depending on them. You know what I mean? When we stop depending on shifts, when we stop saying, when this changes, I will be happy. When this changes, I will be free. No. To become independent of shifts is when we start making shifts. Which means that right at this present moment, we decide to become the change that we wish to see. And we start living like that despite the circumstances. Our reality is our teacher. It's our classroom. And we need to see what each person, what each situation is teaching us to be better, to be more organized, to be more disciplined, to be more loving and compassionate. So then we can practice it and live it. This is it for today. I hope you found a great value in today's message. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. And I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting, the Spirit Guide. So to anyone who would like to get a print of it, you can go onto AttractPassion.com and you will find all my paintings there. If you're looking for this one today, just type in the search, the Spirit Guide, and you will find it. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate you. Also join our Patreon community if you would like to get access to more deeper guidance and teachings, more organized teachings and guided meditations and so much more. So see you there as well, and also join our YouTube membership if you would like to support this channel. Until next time, one love.